What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is UFC Long Island Best Bet.
I need all the wins, yeah. Harder than all that is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
And we are back for another edition of Best Bet. This week for UFC Long Island, we have Brian Ortega going against Yair Rodriguez. Should be a very fun card. We have 12 fights on it. Looking forward to it from a betting perspective and from a fan perspective as well. Should be a very fun card. So a couple announcements to make. Going forward, this will be a shortened Best Bet episode. It's going to be around 10 minutes long. I'm going to premiere it each and every week. So I will be in the chat talking with you guys throughout that 10-15 minutes of the video. And then for pay-per-views, I'm going to bring on 3 guests, and we're going to do a 2-hour special, 2 hours prior to the prelims. So the normal Best Bet show is only going to be on the pay-per-view cards, but fight nights and stuff, it's going to be a 10-minute premiered upload. And as always, guys, on Best Bet, there are only 2 rules. The 2 rules, we're going to give out current lines, and then the other rule is going to be no passing no matter the fight. So let's get into it, and let's get into the best bet for each and every fight on the card. Make sure you guys do like, and make sure you are subscribed as well so you don't miss out on all the other content throughout the week. First fight of the night, we have Emily Ducote going against Jessica Penne. As far as the best bet, and yeah, the rule is you can't pass, and I think fight goes to decision. Minus 156 is kind of where I'd go. I think both fighters are okay finishers, and both fighters have okay paths to finish here. But, Penne, she's only been finished twice by knockout. She's 39 years old at this point. I guess the Penne submission could be potentially live if this fight does hit the map. But Ducote has a black belt in BJJ, wrestling in her back pocket as well. I think Emily Ducote kind of just keeps this on the feet where she wants it, picks apart Jessica Penne over the course of 3 rounds. Fight goes to decision, minus 156. I don't see Emily Ducote going out there and really forcing a finish. She does have good finishing instinct, once she hurts her opponent, but other than that, she kind of just takes her time, kind of low volume. I think this fight does go to decision more often than not. So minus 156, fight goes to decision, if anything, in this fight. Next, we have Dustin Stoltzfus going against Dwight Grant. I hate Dwight Grant fights. They're so hard to bet. They're so hard to have any confidence in Dwight Grant. But for this fight, earlier in the week, I really liked that over 1.5 rounds. It was minus 175. I liked it there. I think I'll still go with that over 1.5 rounds, minus 205. Dwight Grant does have a lot of power, and if this fight does finish, it probably means Dwight Grant knocked out Stoltzfus in the very first round. But Dwight Grant just super low volume, landing over just a little bit over 3 significant strikes per minute. Dustin Stoltzfus never been knocked out for what it's worth. I think this fight does squeak over here and maybe even go the distance, but over 1.5 rounds, minus 205 would be my best bet for this fight. Next, we have Jung going against Dustin Jacoby. We have the people's main event. We have a lot of people confident in Jung, a lot of people confident in Dustin Jacoby. I kind of fall somewhere in the middle. I think it's going to be a very close fight. I think a pick'em's about right here. We have Dustin Jacoby who's going to bring the volume. We have Jung who's going to bring the power. I don't think Jung is going to really have success with the wrestling like he did against William Knight. Jacoby, his takedown defense is but his get-up game is very, very impressive. I do like the volume of Jacoby, and I am going to lean the Jacoby side, but to improve that Jacoby price, I do like Jacoby to win by decision, plus 240 here on FanDuel Sportsbook. I think volume's going to be the difference here. I think he's the better striker, and as long as he does not get knocked out, I think he does win a decision here. So Dustin Jacoby to win by decision, plus 240 would be my best bet on this fight. Next, we have Bill Algeo going against Herbert Burns. I think the fight doesn't go to decision. It's a very popular play, and it makes sense. Herbert Burns, a very good finisher, kind of slows down a lot after that first round. I like Bill Algeo here. I don't know if I like him at minus 210. Herbert Burns is going to have his opportunities. If you do like Herbert Burns, I think Herbert Burns to win in round 1 is plus 700. I think that's how he wins, and I think it's round 1 submission as well. Algeo has been submitted twice, but those 2 submission losses were 8 years ago and 10 years ago as well. So since then, Algeo has become a black belt in BJJ, very hard to finish. And I think his cardio is going to be the difference in this fight. The kind of spot I'm looking at, I think it's a little sneaky spot for this fight, is going to be Algeo to win by round 3 or decision. I don't think Algeo is much of a finisher, but if Herbert Burns is completely gassed out, I could see a late finish, or just Algeo cruises to a decision, winning those second 2 or 3. So if you like Burns, I'd look at Burns sub, Burns round 1 sub, Burns round 1. If you like Algeo, I like the round 2, 3 sprinkles, and then the Bill Algeo round 3 or decision are kind of the spots I'm looking at for this fight for my best bet. Next, we have Jack Shore going against Ricky Simone. My night pretty much comes down to this fight going over 2.5 rounds. I think both guys are very tough, very durable. Both guys, I believe, are black belts in BJJ. Ricky Simone has been knocked out before by Uriah Faber. Not a great look, but other than that, the dude has a chin. He's very, very tough. I think this fight's very competitive. I think it does go over. My best bet for this fight is going to be over 2.5 rounds, minus 215. I actually did play that straight. Minus 210, right around there. It opened at minus 155. Would have loved that. Would have loved it at minus 200 as well, but I still like it at minus 215. And then I also sprinkled the fight to end in split decision plus 400 on DraftKings Sportsbook. I think it's going to be close. I think it goes to decision. I think the split is live, but my best bet for this fight is that over 2.5 rounds, minus 215. Next, we have Dolce Gambola going against Punahele Soriano. Man, best bet for this fight. It's tough because I think the over 1.5 is where I look, minus 165 for that over 1.5, but do you really want to play an over 1.5 in a Dolce Soriano fight? Both these guys hit like trucks, but I think both guys are super tough to finish. I will say over 1.5 for my best bet, minus 165. Just nothing else is really sticking out. The fight doesn't go, minus 200. I don't love that. Give me the over 1.5. Hold your breath. These guys are going to hit each other very hard. I guess, what is Soriano to win in round one? I guess it'd be, if this fight doesn't finish in round one, I think it goes to decision. Soriano round one, only plus 300. I think I'll just go with that. The over 1.5 is my best bet for this fight, but not a ton of confidence in it. Next, we have Miesha Tate going against Lauren Murphy. I would never lay minus 200 on Miesha Tate. But for a best bet, I will do the Tate to win by decision, which is plus 100. Okay, at least we're getting plus money here. Lauren Murphy, very, very tough, very hard to finish. Miesha Tate, I feel like it's going to be competitive on the feet. I slightly actually favor Miesha Tate. I think she's made a lot of improvements in her striking, and I just have never been impressed with Lauren Murphy. And then on top of that, if Miesha Tate does get this fight down to the mat, I think she's the much better grappler. She can control Lauren Murphy, win minutes, on the cage as well. Just kind of control this fight as a whole. So I like Miesha Tate to kind of grind this one out to win by decision. I will not be betting this fight. I wouldn't even think about betting this fight, but my best bet will be that Miesha Tate by decision. Next, we got Charles Jourdain going against Shane Burgos. I'm kind of upset because on 5 Dimes on Sunday, they had the fight doesn't go to decision at plus 115, and I didn't have access to it. I was kind of waiting and was hoping to get the fight doesn't go up plus money. It comes out, it's like minus 125, and therefore, I want to pass, but I think violence is, I guess, the answer to go. Minus 122 for this fight doesn't go to decision, and to improve it a little bit, I think a sneaky way to play this fight would be the fight to end in knockout, which is I think it was plus 140 I saw for the fight to end by knockout. It won't even show up, but I think the fight to end by KO is plus 140. I think it's a little bit interesting. Both guys, do have submissions on the record, so that's kind of scary. I guess I'll just go with the minus 122. Fight doesn't get the decision. These guys are going to stand in the middle and bang it to one-man falls. Both guys are super tough, so I get why people do like that over and that fight goes, but both guys are super dangerous. They're going to throw down. Both guys hit very, very hard. Would not be shocked at all if there's a finish. Minus 122, I don't love it, but I think that'd be my best bet for this fight. I would have loved it a lot more at plus money, but that was not available to me all week, really. Next, we have Madaraji going against Schnell. I do like Madaraji to win inside the distance. I see a plus 125 out there, a plus 120 on I think it's plus 130 on my bookie still. I like that. I think Madaraji does get this done inside the distance. He's finished all of his fights outside the UFC. He's finished all but 2 of his wins inside the UFC. Schnell's been finishing like 5 of 6 losses, been knocked out 3 times. The dude's chin's not great. I don't expect Schnell to go for a takedown, to be smart to, but that's just not his game. I think he's going to stand and bang with Madaraji, and Madaraji's long, he's rangy, hits hard for the division, and Schnell's chin's pretty terrible. So I think Madaraji inside the distance, plus 125, plus 130 is my best bet for this fight. A knockout, like plus 100. Probably just take that inside the distance there. Next, we have Jingliang going against Muslim Salikhov. I've never been really high on Muslim Salikhov, and I think my best bet for this fight is going to be the Jingliang money line. Best out there, like plus 142, plus 134. Lee's going to not only be younger, he's going to have a height advantage, a reach advantage, a volume advantage, a cardio advantage. Salikhov's 38 years old at this point. I've just never been high in his game. I think technically Salikhov's the better striker, but Lee's going to bring the volume, he's going to bring the pace, he's going to make this a war, and I think down the stretch, Lee can definitely take over if and when Salikhov does slow down. So Could Salikhov knock out Lee? Maybe, but Lee's never been knocked out. Neither guy's actually been knocked out. I think this goes to decision. I think it's close. I like Lee, plus 134 on the money line there as a dog. Next, we have Amanda Lemos going against Michelle Waterson. I'm not touching the minus 275 of Lemos. No way, no how. But to improve that price a little bit, Lemos by decision, plus 100 DraftKings Sportsbook. I think that's the better way to play it here. Michelle Waterson only been finished once in the UFC. It was by submission. It was against Rose Namajunas. Other than that, she's very tough. Even like the fight goes to decision, if you will, like minus 190, minus 200. I don't think those are terrible. I think this fight does go over. I think it does go the distance. And I do think it's a little bit more competitive than that minus 175 does indicate. Best bet, Lemos decision, plus money, plus 100. Main event, Brian Ortega going against Yair Rodriguez. Talked about this fight on Sunday, and Ortega props on Sunday on FanDuel were crazy. Ortega by submission was plus 470. Ortega inside the distance was plus 230. The fight doesn't go as minus 11 or minus 110. Those got smashed overnight on Monday, and I guess at this point, my best bet is going to be Brian Ortega to win inside the distance, sitting at plus 160. I see plus 150 out there. You know, Brian Ortega's finished all but one of his wins in the UFC. The one win he did not finish was against the Korean Zombie, where he did almost finished him like 2 or 3 times in that fight. I think Ortega has power on the feet. He's dangerous on the feet, but most especially on the mat. If this fight does hit the mat, I think he's very live for that finish there. So those are my best bets for UFC Long Island. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down your best bet. Let me know what you're thinking for your best bet on the entire card. Not a ton of spots sticking out. Another light week for me. Looking forward to next week for UFC London. Have a lot of spots lined up already. Next week's card is going to be phenomenal, and then we end the month with UFC 277. So lots of great UFC coming our way. Best of luck for UFC Long Island. We'll talk to you soon. See you guys.